Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of SportsPoint in the new year 2026. I am your host, Jacob Spoerl. Joined here to my right is the Cole Schneider and Brett McNamara. Gentlemen, how you guys doing?
It's been a hot minute, Jacob.
Hot
minute.
Very long,
Yes.
very long.
Very
Happy
long.
to be back.
I know, so many things have changed. The Green Bay Packers are making the Super Bowl. The Bucks somehow are the best team in the NBA. And the Milwaukee Brewers traded for a major player.
If only that were true.
Is the things I wanted to say. It's been a minute. The last time we recorded a SportsPoint episode was Monday, December 1st in the Big 25. It was a long year ago, but now we're recording January 26th, 2026. Yeah, you saw it.
We haven't seen each other since last year.
Oh
I
my
know.
goodness.
How are you guys doing?
I've aged. I really have.
You've aged?
Yeah, I'm still 20. Yeah, I've aged in dog years. So,
Dog years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got that dog.
Liam, how are you? Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, it has been a very eventful time in the NFL. Obviously, two teams are going to the Super Bowl now. That's how long it's been. The NBA is still going strong. MLB, we're getting somewhat close to spring training. NHL is going wild. But first, we got to start off, as we usually do, with our crowning champion segment. My crowning champion for this week is the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold. What a game he had. Over 340 yards in the air, averaging over 9.5 yards a throw, so almost a first down every throw. 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, at a QBR of 82.9, passer rating of 127.8. And he is the only quarterback from the 2018 draft class to be starting in a Super Bowl. Josh Allen didn't do it. Lamar Jackson didn't do it. Baker Mayfield hasn't done it. And, of course, the best of all of them, Josh Rosen. Brett, who is your crowning champion for this week?
Shout out UCLA legend Josh Rosen. All right. My crowning champion is Josiah Butler, the UWSP men's basketball team's current leading scorer. He's averaging 18.3 points this season for the Pointers. With Cal Crone going down, I'm assuming that will go up, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, he had a career-high 34 points against UW-La Crosse on Saturday.
Whoa.
But more notably, a couple weeks ago, he had his 1,000th point here at UW-Stevens Point against UW-Oshkosh. So congrats to Josiah Butler. He had a little halftime, or excuse me, it was pregame ceremony before the UW, what game was that? River Falls.
River Falls, yep.
But yeah, it was awesome to see. Played great again in that one. But yeah, shout out to Josiah Butler for 1,000.
He's only a junior, too.
Excuse me, 1,000 points on the season.
Yeah,
Or
1,000 yards.
in the career. I am really off right now.
No, you're good. You're good, Brett. Yeah, great for Josiah Butler. You just said it. I mean, he's an upperclassman, but he's not a senior yet. No. He's still a junior, so the fact that he's going to be on the squad next year, I think he's the third. I don't want to set this in stone. I think that he's the third men's basketball player ever to do that at Stevens Point. And the fact that he's in his junior season, incredible stuff from Josiah Butler. Cole, who is your crowning champion for this week?
So my crowning champion goes to Sam Darnold's number one target, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He had 10 receptions for 153 yards and 1 touchdown. He was my top fantasy player all year.
Yeah, he's a freak.
It's insane.
He's
awesome. He came out of nowhere, too, almost.
Yeah, I mean, he's been getting better and better, but we played the Seahawks in preseason, and the week before that we had a joint practice, and I remember every Packers beat reporter that was there was saying, JSN looks great. Like, he's taken a step up. He looks like by far the number one guy, and I think letting guys like Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf go and letting Jackson Smith and Jigba become the prime guy in Seattle was clearly the move. He's become more than a reliable slot guy. I think consistently over the league this year, I think he's had the best hands. He's
Easily.
a great route runner.
He was catching balls that shouldn't have even been caught on Sunday. He was caught a one-handed, then he caught one
that was
over the
nuts.
top of his
And it
head.
didn't even move. We're going to talk more about the conference championship games from this weekend. But first, we've got ourselves the 3-point tri-campus roundup. Guys, today's flavor of the month is one we've never tried before.
No way.
This year.
It's Point Brewery Root Beer. Yes, this year. Yes, there you go. Good save, Brett. We'll get a new flavor next week, but to start off, we got to make sure. Yeah, this one isn't cold, so that one's. Point Root Beer is made with 100% real sugar. Point Premium Root Beer is handcrafted in small batches with the purest water, genuine Wisconsin honey, and all natural vanilla. This gold medal winning recipe is refreshingly delicious, rich, creamy, and caffeine-free, giving it a time-honored traditional draft root beer taste. Take your sip, gentlemen.
Your hands are sweaty.
Oh, that's good. I'm not going to lie. I was at B-Dubs yesterday. Had a different brand of root beer because they didn't have the Point products. It was better. Better for sure. Oh, yeah. All right. We're going to start off with my team first.
So rich.
We already talked about him a little bit with Cole's crowning champion, Josiah Butler, who's obviously the top scorer on the UWSP men's basketball team. As of right now, the squad is 14-4. They're coming off of at least from the start of the winter semester in 2026, they have their one win, which was on January 21st. That was a Wednesday, where they defeated the River Falls Falcons 86-64 up until the final 5.5 minutes or so of that game. It was pretty close and competitive, back and forth basketball. But the Pointers fully unlocked their true potential in the last several minutes of that game and broke away. However, you also just mentioned that Josiah Butler had a big game against UW La Crosse. As Brett was talking about Josiah Butler, in that game where he scored his career-high points with 34, they lost that game by 3, 77-8. 77-80 was the final score. That was at La Crosse, Wisconsin. So the rankings haven't come out yet. I believe they come out tomorrow as of time recording. But there was a couple weeks ago where the Pointers were ranked number 11th in the nation. What a great feat. However, they had back-to-back losses a couple weeks ago to UW Stout, which was a surprise because they were at the bottom of the conference. It was by far the Pointers' worst game of the year, losing 67-83 at Stout. And then the following game, they lost to number 19th ranked Platteville 61-63. That was a nail-biter. But right now, the Pointers are not great in conference. I believe 3 of their 4 losses are all to WIAC opponents, which, of course, is arguably the toughest division, the toughest conference in Division III sports for everything, not just basketball, but for hockey, men's and women's, for football. It's a very competitive conference, so obviously difficult stuff there for Point. They got their rematch against Platteville, though, coming up on January 28th, so it'll have already happened by the time this episode is out. So we'll see how that one goes, but the Pointers were number 1 in the WIAC for a long time. They've dropped down to 3rd, but I'm sure they'll fight their way back up. Either way, incredibly fun team to watch. They're relying more on their bench players and some of their freshmen, their young guys. They're just fun to watch.
They are.
The most fun Pointer basketball team, at least for the men's, that I can say I've seen throughout my career here at UWSP.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree totally. It sucks, though, that Cal Crone's now out for the season with that leg injury. We saw him out just, being with his teammates at the game on Wednesday. But, no, it sucks, but, no, it helps a lot for the bench players to step up, especially Grant Mans. I mean, what a start against River Falls. He had the first 6 points, I believe. But he's starting now at the center or at the 5. He's maybe not playing as many minutes as Crone was playing, but still every single minutes that we saw, at least, were very valuable minutes. So it definitely helps a lot when you got bench guys like that.
So I watched Grant Mans play in high school against my cousin, and his footwork is outstanding for his size. He's
great.
Very small for playing the 5 right now, but he looks great.
Is he small?
He's smaller.
How tall is he?
6'6".
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
He feels
like he'll be playing guys like Eau Claire's starting big man who's
just like
6'9".
Yeah. That makes sense. He looked really good. I mean, he's a sophomore. From the games that I've been to, I haven't seen him really play much, and he had essentially a starting role. Great to see from him. He was awesome. Cole, who's your team that you're going to be talking about?
Well, I'll be talking about our women's basketball team.
Nice.
They lost Saturday 57-62 against UW La Crosse. They fall to 12-6, 1-6 in conference. They started off 11-0 and have been 1-6 since they started conference play. Not great to start the conference play. And Maya Rice had 21 points, 10 for 18 from the field. She was on fire to start that fourth quarter, Brett.
Wow.
You were there.
Yeah, she really
She
was.
did not
I mean,
miss.
my goodness, she would kind of cross over to the right or the left, just pull up right from that corner mid-range shot, and my goodness, it just felt like everything was dropping for her.
Automatic.
She was really outstanding that game.
And that'll wrap us up for the 3-Point Tri-Campus Roundup. Thank you to Point Brewery once again for sponsoring this segment and this episode. That'll take us right on to the NFL update. We're going to start off not talking about the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship and NFC Championship. We're going to start off with our team, our boys, the Green Bay Packers. We spend a lot of time chatting about them. Yeah, your team, the Padres and the Wisconsin Badgers. But no, we obviously are all Packers fans, and we talk about them almost every episode on the show. And at the start of the season, I thought this would be a Super Bowl caliber team. And even after the Tucker Kraft injury, it took us a little while, but the team built momentum, and I thought we had a shot. Since the last time we spoke, because the last time we did speak was after Thanksgiving, where the Packers beat the Lions. They swept them in 2025. Great stuff. First time they did that against 2020.
What was life?
And then we played the Broncos. Micah Parsons tore his ACL. I think a lot of us agreed that was probably the moment where a lot of us as fans, including myself, probably thought Super Bowl odds and chances were out of the conversation. I think losing two major players, plus we lost Devontae Wyatt against the Lions on Thanksgiving, it just became a very much an injury-riddled season. And then we just kept losing more players. I went to the Ravens-Packers game. Jordan Love got hurt. He was in concussion protocol. So Malik Willis balled out. That was awesome. But we just didn't look good. We had a really bad loss to the Bears the second time we played them in December. And then, we rested our starters. We went into the postseason. I think we had some hope. Of course, the Packers went up 21-3 at halftime. We looked like the better team. And then we proceeded to collapse. It was a really bad loss. I'm talking about it like it's a tragedy.
It is a tragedy.
It is a tragedy if you're a Packer fan. And I really wish we had the space to talk about it at the time, because I had so many thoughts. And I even posted a TikTok on my own personal account. And we still do. So I'm just going to say we could talk about the Packers for hours. And I want to give us somewhat a version of that with an outlet next week. So next week, we're all going to talk about what we think happened, what went wrong, and then more importantly, what the future is of the Packers team. So we're going to talk about it a little bit now, but we have so much stuff we want to catch up on and talk about that we just can't spend too much time talking about that specifically. So obviously, disappointing end to the season, right, guys?
Yeah.
My question is Brandon McManus evil?
Yes.
So I just want to say, because yeah.
It's Anders Carlson.
Evil. The reincarnation of Anders Carlson. I told you guys this. I said halfway through the season, I was not super high on McManus. Haversick might be the guy. And you guys were like, you and Liam Staff specifically, I don't know about you, Cole. You were like, did you just get a bomb?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is an after thing.
Oh, okay.
Very important to you, though.
Okay. But we were like, yeah, I was like, McManus wasn't the guy, and you guys are like, hold the brakes a little early, and I was like, maybe I'm overreacting.
No, you weren't.
And I was not. I saw the future. I think I saw it early. I like Brandon McManus, but he's not good from long distances. And I think this year he was tied for 32nd in field goal accuracy or field goal percentage. That's awful. But more importantly, obviously after the season ended, people were questioning, should Matt LaFleur get fired? I was in both camps. And I've said at moments during the season, LaFleur's had bad play calling. I never thought he should have been fired. I really started considering it after the season ended. But, of course, he got extended. Brian Gutekunst, their GM, also got extended. What are your guys' thoughts on that, by the way, really quick?
See, I get why they got extended because injuries killed us, but his play calling also did.
Correct.
So I'm in both fields like you are, where he has the right to get extended, but also has the right to get fired.
Yep.
I think my opinion is solely stated off the fact that who else would be another option? Let's be fair.
That's the other big thing.
Harbaugh was probably the top option, if not Raheem Morris. What did Raheem Morris do as a head coach for Atlanta? Harbaugh, he won one Super Bowl back in 2013 or whatever, what year that was.
Yep.
But it's just the consistency basis, and I think that's kind of along the lines that where LaFleur's going down right now, and a lot of people are comparing to him, but LaFleur's only been a head coach for 6 years in the league.
Correct.
And to be fair, I mean, the first 2 years, was it really on LaFleur the first 2 years? Because I think that, the one against Tampa Bay, we know who that was on. That was on Kevin King.
Yep.
Speak his name.
Well, yeah, but
We
you
don't
know,
speak
what
his
I'm
name.
getting at. Like the two opportunities he had
Yep.
to make the Super Bowl, like his best chances, it was on other people.
Yeah, and
Then I kinda-
obviously,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, obviously, McManus missed 3 kicks against the Bears.
Exactly.
And
before
but
then, yeah,
what
yeah.
I will say, even though those 3 kicks would have cost us 7 points, and we ended up losing by 4, so you could say it was solely on McManus. However, LaFleur was the guy all season that was kind of not really paying attention to the kicker situation and leaving that on Rich Bisaccia, which B, he hired Rich Bisaccia. Like those things have trickle down effects. So yes, directly it was on Brandon McManus and a couple other players. However, Matt LaFleur is in charge of them. So that's why I think there's a little bit of blame to be shifted. But at this point, it doesn't matter. He's on the team. He's staying with us. He's here for the next couple of years. I was just curious about your opinions. Rich Bisaccia, the highest special teams coordinator in the NFL, with arguably the worst special teams unit in the NFL, is still employed. If you guys can't tell, I am annoyed. I've been annoyed about this topic. I hate talking about it because
He's not wrong.
this man, you just see a picture of him online. I just want to smash it. I can't stand it. Like he's still on the team.
I guess. You know what you said?
What?
Rich Bisaccia is the highest NFL special teams.
What did I say?
Rich Bisaccia is the highest special teams coordinator.
I said the highest.
Yep.
He's the highest paid. Sorry. You know what? That's probably true too. I don't know. I don't know what he's smoking. There's just so much evidence, like to liberal out. We'll go over it next week.
I feel like him being the assistant head coach got in his head, and he's too worried about that than being a special teams
it's
coordinator.
like you're the special teams coordinator,
Yeah,
and we have a terrible special teams, and you get you get paid the most for a job that you're arguably the worst at. Like there's just that baseline. We can go into the nitty gritty. Bottom line, you're bad at your job.
I think with going along with him still being around, I'm assuming that they're just going to keep him for the next year.
Yes.
And them extending Gutekunst and LaFleur. I think that these are just honestly extensions in a sense where it's like I said before, like there's not really other options. Maybe special teams wise, yes, there is obviously, but like when it comes down that line, it's tough to do when these guys have been you're still making the playoffs. You're still competing at a high level. You're not the Tennessee Titans where you're constantly rotating out coaches and GMs and players and, have to trade away your star players. Like I'd rather be on this side of football where, we're at a consistent basis where we're at least competing and putting the best guys out there and trading for high caliber players like Micah Parsons.
It's like the Steelers argument. Like for years, they're like slightly above average, but then it gets to a point where it's like complacency, and I don't want us to be entering that again. We'll talk more about that next week. In other news, previous Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, who is only with the Packers for 2 seasons, was just hired by the Miami Dolphins to be their brand new head coach. Of course, our former vice president of player personnel and player relations, John Eric Sullivan, was also hired by the Dolphins to be their brand new GM, and now, as of yesterday, time of recording, Jonathan Gannon is the brand new DC in Green Bay. And it's not announced?
Something to note. I don't know. I same with the extensions. None of.
Oh yeah, like none of the details have been announced.
Well, no, not even it hasn't even been announced by
The team?
The team at all.
Yeah, it
Which
hasn't.
is a little. Usually, I feel like by now you would have some sort of an announcement.
The only
but
thing I will
nothing.
say is people said this
There's
with
just
about
something to point.
people said this about the Harbaugh hiring with the Giants and now with Mike McDaniels with the Chargers. That stuff was announced days before their contracts were set into stone. However, there is a chance that some way, somehow, like a guy like Jim Leonard finds his way into the role. But I think it's like 98% sure Jonathan Gannon is the new DC. We'll see if this information becomes irrelevant. We won't talk about it much. We'll talk about, again, more about this next week. All I will say, my last question about the Packers, relating to the Packers, is, gentlemen, how do we feel about the future for this team?
I still think all right, to be honest, I think that this next year is really what we got left.
Yep.
I think that this next year, it's unfortunate we had so many injuries, and I felt like this year we would have been competing for that number 1 seed. If not, we would be the 1 seed if we had injuries. But unfortunately, this isn't Madden, and you can't turn it off.
I mean, look at how we were playing against the Broncos. This is without Tucker Kraft.
Exactly.
I mean, we're dominating
winning.
the whole first half. Obviously, people say the season ended when Love threw that pick to Surtain and Watson got hurt. I believe that changed some momentum. It's really when Micah Parsons tore his ACL because that's when the floodgates opened, which is only like a couple minutes later in that game.
Yep.
And you could just feel.
And then the Watson temporary injury that we thought was really bad.
Yes, you could just feel in the air kind of a deflation a little bit. So when that stuff happens, it's real. It's not just with the fans. It's with teams.
And you feel like you just can't compete at the high level you want to
So I do agree, even with all the flaws in the squad, like Rich Bisaccia and the special teams, like the play calling. I mean, before that Micah injury, it was a different team.
be. It was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that overall, this next year is really kind of our year. I mean, Quay Walker's a free agent. Obviously, we won't have Malik Willis next year. Rasheed Walker shouldn't be back, but there's some other guys that
Leave him
I do
at the
want to.
airport.
Huh? Yeah, leave at the airport. Yeah, I mean, there's some more guys that I want to see back in the building, like Kingsley and Nigbari. I want to see. Who else am I? I want to see Quay Walker back. I think that.
I do
I
too,
mean,
yeah.
it's kind of tough to replace a guy like that. I know you got McDuffie, but I really like McDuffie as that that rotational linebacker that comes in and plays that kind of
He
third
just doesn't
inside
have
linebacker.
he's a very solid depth piece.
Yes.
Could be starting on a couple teams. Quay is a different presence, especially
yeah.
approaching the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cole, you have thoughts?
I'm optimistic because obviously season-ending injuries, Tucker Kraft's probably not going to be back at the start of the year.
That's what.
Same thing with Micah.
I think Tucker
Maybe.
might.
Yeah,
Micah won't.
Micah will
I
be back
hope.
by like week 3.
Because Aiden Hutchinson broke his leg, snapped his leg around
He
the
was
same
planning
time
on being
Tucker-
back if they made the Super Bowl that year.
That wasn't going to happen. People said
wouldn't
that
have,
with
but-
Aaron Rodgers when he tore his Achilles.
Romeo, yeah.
That was not happening. I think that's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
But I think Kraft will be back by the start of the season.
I
Micah
hope so.
won't.
The o-
It might take him a month.
So the only thing I'm worried about going forward is the guys we're gonna have to extend, and I'm talking
Correct.
Tucker Kraft. I'm potentially saying Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed kind
we
of
don't
goes
know.
along that line, and then you kind of get down to the offensive linemen like Zach Tom. I mean, he just got extended, but it's just you're paying those guys a lot of money already.
I think Zach Tom is the only O-lineman we don't have to worry about. Because, yes,
I'm just saying money
Elton
wise.
Jenkins.
Correct.
Money wise. Elton Jenkins.
Elton
that's what I'm-
Jenkins,
like there's
Sean Ryan.
there's a lot of
we
decisions.
might restructure Aaron Banks' contract.
Mhm.
Not to
Nate
restructure Aaron
Hobbs.
Banks' contract.
We have to.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Xavier McKinney's a free agent after this season he's a free agent. Or no, 2 years. Excuse
2
me.
years.
But still, you know what I'm trying to say.
Same with
in
Josh
general.
Jacobs. I think at most we have 2 years. I think this year could be the year as well, but it's really these next 2
That's
years
what-
because
that's what I'm just
Love's
nervous
deal,
about,
McKinney's
yeah.
deal, all that stuff.
And we don't have first round draft picks in those 2 years.
Those next 2 years. I know.
That's what I'm just saying.
Scary.
It's like there's a lot of money that needs to be financially placed in the right spots.
You're right. All right, that is all we've got for the Packers this week. We'll talk more about them next week, a lot more in-depth analysis. But for now, we got around the NFL. What's been going on? Well, the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks are headed to Super Bowl 60. It is technically a Super Bowl rematch between these two franchises. It's not a real rematch because no one on the team or the coaching staff is the same. But the last time these two franchises met was 11 years ago in Super Bowl 49, one of the most famous Super Bowls, obviously throwing for it on the 1-yard line.
With Marshawn Lynch.
Picked off by Malcolm Butler, whatever it was. Yeah, not handing it off to Marshawn Lynch. Malcolm Butler. Yeah, that was
Never
great.
heard of him, and then you heard about him for
Yep.
a couple of years, and then he was terrible. So
Well, 2 years later, he wasn't even.
He was
wasn't
benched.
in the.
He was benched in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it was 52.
yeah,
and
against
then
the
he was-
Eagles.
and then he was traded or cut and signed with the Titans, and then came back to New England.
Yeah, I don't know
so-
what happened, but for this season, obviously these are two different teams. We got to talk about the championship games. I will say, I predicted the Packers to go to the Super Bowl. My AFC favorite, what I said at the start of the show, I'll admit I was wrong, was the Ravens or the Broncos. I do believe if Bo Nix does not break his ankle in the divisional round, I think they're going to the Super Bowl. Seriously.
That's a safe call to make.
Seriously. I know that's like a pretty safe. Do you disagree with that?
I just think that the defense that Patriots have, I mean,
It's good.
it's
It's
good.
legit.
And I like the Broncos defense too, but I just felt like the Patriots used their weapons better than the Broncos did.
I
if that
agree,
makes sense.
but the reason why I say this is I don't think Stidham was the problem for a lot of that game, but he's the one that had the he had the lateral on fourth down. He threw the interception when they needed to win the game, and he also was not mobile in the pocket. That's how Bo Nix plays. And at the end of the day, the Patriots only scored 10 points.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have had a shot with Bo Nix, but it doesn't matter. The Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Overall, that first game, the AFC Championship, was all right. I think the snow element of it was really cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember a game this deep in the playoffs with snow implications since that was the divisional round when the Packers played the Niners.
Oh, yeah, that one.
That's
That
traumatic.
one.
PTSD.
The Bills, no.
But the NFC Championship game, I think, is going to be an instant classic.
Oh, yeah.
Rams, Seahawks, both games earlier this season, it was very close. Heading into this game, all time, I think the Seahawks were 29 wins and the Rams were 28 wins. And they were also separated by a point. So all the points scored was only a 1-point differential. So it was a lot riding on the line. But, of course, Puka, his knee was down in bounds. They had a chance.
Barely,
the
too.
Rams
Barely.
actually had a shot. Mevis has had a great postseason run as their kicker, the thicker kicker. So he could have nailed that field goal. But at the end of the day, Sam Darnold going to the Super Bowl. It's really that Seahawks defense is very good. Jackson Smith-Njigba is great. Kenneth Walker. I've said he was good. I said, though, he was never I didn't think he was that guy.
Now he is.
Now he is. And I think they have to re-sign him. Charbonnet is still good, but Kenneth Walker is a dog, and he's so elusive. For being as big as he is very quick. Very, very good quick movements, but good on those two teams. Overall, did we enjoy this NFL season?
I think the regular season was amazing.
Thank you.
I think it was one of, if not a top 3 regular season that I've witnessed.
Of all time.
Of all time, yes. Because I just thought that not every single game, but there was a lot of games on a Sunday where it was just I want to go watch this game. I want to watch this game. The schedules were great.
Yeah.
The way that they put together these schedules this year and just the way that everybody was competing, it felt like anybody's game. That's what I loved. And not seeing the Chiefs out there. I'm not saying you don't want to see a competitive
I think
team
that made it a little bit
Chiefs.
better, though.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general, it was fun watch because you didn't know who was going to win the bowl this year.
Yeah, everyone was saying, I have no idea who's going to the Super Bowl, and I didn't even 4 weeks ago. It was very unpredictable in all the right ways.
And teams were just losing.
Phillip Rivers came back. I don't
Might
even know
be
if we
hired as
talked
a
about it on
head
this
coach?
show.
No,
A
he was
44-year-old grandfather
That's
was
right.
scooped up by the Indianapolis Colts. So many wild things happened this season. I would agree. Incredible season. Probably one of my favorites of all time. But that also meant a lot of coaches got fired because of these results. 10 positions opened up. I don't remember the last time it was that many. I feel like it's usually somewhere between 5 or 6 maybe, not 10. And I graded all the current hires right now. You can disagree with them. But we're going to each have our own opinion and grades on all the new hires, at least for right now. There's 6 total that have been hired. The Falcons, Ravens, Dolphins, the Giants, Titans, and Steelers have all hired new head coaches. I want your guys' takes. Does anyone want to start with the first one? Brett
I'd
does.
love to start with Kevin Stefanski.
So, yeah, the Atlanta Falcons hired Kevin Stefanski. That was one of the first ones. What are your thoughts, Brett?
I think it is not a good signing. Fairly just based off the point that Kevin Stefanski did absolutely nothing in Cleveland. His defense was amazing. Just hold your horses.
Okay.
Made the playoffs 1 year, right? Or 2?
2.
2.
Was it 2?
Was 2.
Yeah.
What was the other year?
2020 and 2022 or 23. I can
Really?
guarantee that, yes.
All right. I'll look this. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. Keep going.
Anyways, I just don't think Kevin Stefanski is a good head coach. I felt like the way he handled the quarterback situation this year was
Yes.
not very good
I
at
do
all.
agree with
And yes, he was kind of thrown in front of him. Hey, man, you got 3 different options here. Oh, wait, now, no, we're not going to do that option. We're not going to do that option. I just felt like the way he handled it was very poorly. And I think the offense in general was very poor besides their running back, Judkins. I thought that was their only bright spot.
Harold Fannin?
Yeah.
Or Harold Fannin. Okay, I guess, yeah, Harold Fannin. Apologies. Okay,
Go to
but like
fantasy.
you haven't. I mean, your wide receiver core is not too shabby. Jerry Judy's still on that team, and it felt like I barely heard anything about him.
Who else? Who else on that team? You said not too shabby?
Not too
I think
shabby.
it's a pretty poor receiving core. I think Jerry Judy's fine. He had a good year last year. He's a fine.
But it's like I just don't understand how you can coach a team to go 5-12, and then all of a sudden you're just getting hired as the head coach for a Falcons team that like was very close. I felt like they're a couple pieces away from possibly winning the NFC
I think
South.
the Falcons are riding on the fact that he was able to help lead the Browns to the playoffs twice, a team that is notoriously awful or
I
mid
think
at
also
best.
it's his offensive. I do kind of agree with you, Brett. I think the way he handled the season was poor. And obviously he didn't draft Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. But I think the way he went about it, like I think pretty clearly, and even though he should not be a Pro Bowler, that is nuts. The Pro Bowl is a joke.
Well, yeah.
We're not even going to get into that. But I will say the way he managed that was a little poor. However, I think they're hiring him for an offensive mindset. I do agree. This is kind of a hiring.
He would be better in a situation with a veteran-led quarterback, if that makes sense.
I think he was part of the decision to get rid of Baker, and obviously
yeah.
that is one of the worst decisions they've made in recent memory, along with so many. But
And Baker's going to have it out with
give
him
me a
this next
grade.
year.
Give me a grade. We're all going to grade these.
I give it a C.
Give it a C. All right, that is your grade for the Falcons hire of Kevin Stefanski. I'll go next. The Baltimore Ravens hired Jesse Minter, who was the defensive coordinator for 2 seasons for the LA Chargers, and before that, he was the defensive coordinator, I believe the play caller as well, for the Michigan championship team. I give this an A. I think this is arguably the best head coach hiring so far, mostly because the Ravens' defense was so good when Mike McDonald was there. The moment he leaves to go to Seattle, that defense has been disappointing to me. And, like, I get it. They don't have all the pieces. They were injured. But that secondary could be great. I mean, especially that safety room. They got Kyle Hamilton and first-round rookie Malachi Starks. They got great stuff going on. I think if they get a good play caller in there, they can figure out stuff with Lamar. But Jesse Minter, I think, was a good move. That's an A. I think he took a Chargers defense with a lot of no-named guys and made them top 5 unit in the NFL. They were 5th in total defense this season. That's a big task. So good stuff for him. That is my grade, is an A. You want to go next, Cole?
Yeah, we'll go to Jeff Hafley, Dolphins' new head coach, former DC of the Packers. You have a B on here.
I give it a B, yep.
I don't know about that because, I mean, like, the team right now that he has they're dwindling, I think. They have
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill's going to be gone.
In terms of, like, who's on the market and the hiring for what they need. That's how I graded it.
Okay.
I gave it a B. You could this isn't my take. This is your take.
I do think that he can lead them to a better standing than what they are right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many key pieces on defense for him right now.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Jordan Brooks and Bradley Chubb and aging Minkah Fitzpatrick. They don't have a lot. Yeah, I will say.
He doesn't have a lot to work with over there.
I think they want an improved defense in Miami.
You're going to have the guys that respect Hafley want to potentially go over there. I mean, Jeff Hafley came from Boston College.
That too. He does have that influence.
But I feel like overall Jeff Hafley may,
He does have that respect now.
Yes, exactly. And he starts off maybe as a C for a hiring, but I think out of all these head coaches, he has the best upside.
Okay, I think that's interesting. I like that
That's
take. We got to speed around the last couple. We got a couple more things to talk about. You go next, Brett, with your next head coach.
The next head coach that we got is Giants' new hiring, John Harbaugh. I like this one. I really do. I feel like that John Harbaugh is still a good head coach in the league. I don't think that there's no reason that teams shouldn't be interested in hiring him as a head coach. He was possibly a candidate for the Green Bay Packers if they were to move on from LaFleur. But no, I agree with your grade that you wrote down here, B+. I feel like that's a very good hiring for the Giants, and I still think that Jackson Dart has a potential Pro Bowl and All Pro in him. I think that offense is very exciting. Cam Scadaboo, Malik Neighbors, Wanda Robinson really played well this season.
Yeah.
Just think like a couple teams here that are on the edge. I think they're just a couple pieces away, and they'll be exciting team going into next season.
I like that. I'll go next. The Tennessee Titans hired Robert Saleh, Obviously, former 49ers coordinator twice, but of course, his head coaching gig, he had it with the New York Jets. I'm going to give this grade a B-. I don't think this one is awful. I think the Titans are trying to go with the Mike Vrabel route, getting a defensive guy that everybody likes. I think it is proven Robert Saleh is a very good defensive coach. We've seen him do it twice now with the Niners. This year he coached – sorry, Vince Lombardi. He coached the most dominant practice squad I've ever seen. Like, there was so many guys I've never heard of. You lose Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and their first-round pick in Mykel Williams. Not only that, but in the offseason, you lose your good safety in Talanoa Hufanga. They're a year or so removed from losing Charvarius Ward, I think. They also lost Dre Greenlaw to the Broncos. They had so many spots open, and he did a great job. However, he obviously had that stint in New York, but I think he got fired prematurely during the Rodgers era on the Jets. I'm giving this a B- for now just because of the pieces that he has to deal with in Tennessee because it's a truly abysmal roster. But not a bad hire. And then you get the last one, Cole, the spiciest.
Former Packers head coach Mike McCarthy, former Cowboys head coach, was hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers, which kind of surprised me because I didn't even think he was in the talks about it.
I didn't either.
And he's from Pittsburgh, hometown team.
And that's the only reason why I got hired. I'm kidding.
And we were talking about it. There's a good chance that Aaron Rodgers might stay again.
Yeah.
And Alan Lazard is on the market.
So is Aaron Jones.
Come the
Alan
Pittsburgh Packers.
Lazard
I'm
should
literally
retire.
telling y'all. I'm literally telling y'all. I genuinely think that Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Lazard will be Pittsburgh Steelers with Aaron Rodgers next year.
That is a very good statement to make, Brett, because
And if I'm the Steelers, I'm capitalizing.
How long is Kenneth
You're
Gainwell
already
there?
big take here. I think they should trade away Jalen Warren. Go strictly to Kenneth Gainwell. I think Gainwell's got very high upside.
he does.
I like
But
him.
Jalen Warren is
Passing
also
Jalen Warren's
really
still on
good.
his rookie deal, right?
Huh?
Isn't Jalen Warren still on his rookie deal?
No.
He's
I don't-
not?
I don't think so.
Check the stats. But give us the rest of your take on Mike McCarthy, Cole.
So I think the Steelers also needed an offensive-minded coach. Their defense is always going to be good as long as they still have the right pieces.
Yeah.
TJ Watt's going to be back, aging. Cam Hayward probably going to be back. He's aging too. And Jalen Ramsey's there too, also another aging defensive piece. But if they can play like they did this year again, they'll still be good, a good unit on defense.
What is your grade?
We'll give it a C+.
That's all the NFL. We're going to have to cut a little bit out of this episode, but that's okay. Did you see the Jalen Warren contract?
Yeah. Next year it's done.
Okay, so he's got another year left, and then he can probably go away. We're going to move on to the NBA update.
Oh gosh.
This one's going to be quick because being a Bucks fan this season has been hard. Just really quickly, we talked about it last year and even the start of this year. Going into the season, I actually had some hope, purely for the fact that I thought the East would have been wide open. And that aspect, I was right. I still believe the Eastern Conference is wide open. I think really anybody can win it. It's not nearly as dominant or as scary as the West is. What a shock. But that's how the season started. The Bucks looked all right. And then Giannis got hurt around Thanksgiving. He was out for like a month and a half. And the team looked bad without Giannis. Like, they looked helpless, which sucks because we had good performances from Ryan Rollins. And sometimes KPJ, he also went through some injury stuff. He looked good. And then Giannis comes back, and the team's still not that good at all. Not that good. They're not good. They were not good when Giannis got back. Me and Brett were at a game about a month ago, and they got spanked by the Wolves, who didn't even have their best player.
Best two players.
Best two players. Exactly. Who was the other guy?
Not Julius Randle. Rudy Gobert.
Oh, yeah. Gobert wasn't playing.
But the thing I do want to say, I was talking to my buddy actually about it last night going into this morning. The way that this offseason was presented to them, I agree. I mean, the East is wide open. There's a lot of contenders out there. But I'm going off the similar sense that what the Pacers did. Pacers are the worst team in the East right now. But that's because Tyrese Halliburton's out. They kind of gave up this year, but now they're going to get a high draft pick.
Yeah.
So I think what Horst was trying to do, the GM for the Bucks, is that he was just trying to put everything, all of his eggs into one basket and be like, all right, yeah, we think personally that we can, waive and stretch Dame's contract and make it, doable for us to sign Miles Turner. And it was just trying to bring in guys to compete at a high level, and obviously it hasn't worked. So if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks here, I'm keeping Giannis. I'm going to be 100% honest. Keep Giannis, trade everybody else, or make some moves to get some either draft capital or younger players in here that don't have expiring contracts. And then you'll get kind of tank this season, and then you'll have a high draft pick because they have that pick swap with New Orleans. They also are very terrible this year. And then you get a high lottery pick, and then boom, you're right back next year. So it's not completely a complete rebuild, but it's a step back to take a step forward.
Oh boy.
Fire Doc Rivers. You could say anything about the roster. Did you say that?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. You could say anything about the roster. In my personal opinion, I think we can compete with our starting roster. I don't think we could be world enders or going to the NBA Finals.
At least
but
make
there's
a push,
a lack
right?
of passion.
We
There's
have
a lack
too
of
much new
energy. All of Milwaukee, all of 414 has turned on this man. You went to that game against the Wolves. Were you there during player intros?
Yeah.
Everyone's getting introduced. Doc River comes up on the big board. Boo. Nobody. Okay. Here's my thing. I've heard all the reasons on the Woods. Sorry, I'm a little ranty. My bad. I've heard all the reasons in the Woods why we are keeping Doc Rivers. We don't want to fire this guy mid-season. Just let it play out. We did it to Adrian Griffin. He had 20 more wins than losses, and we dumped his ass because we didn't like him in the locker room. He wasn't good with Giannis. At least we were good. I love Giannis, and we don't know how much this is truly on him. But at some point, you just got to bite the bullet. And our coaching staff in general, what's the assistant coach? I can never remember his name.
Darvin Ham.
Darvin Ham. When he is becoming to the point where he's not the worst coach on your staff, it's a problem. The game-winning play, I think it was against the Knicks or whatever, like a month and a half ago, was during winter break. Giannis drew it up. Not even the head coach. Why is he here? I don't get why we hired him. He won a championship 2 decades ago. Gosh.
I think the reason that they're keeping Doc Rivers along the way right now is that it's Giannis. Giannis is the decision maker. He's LeBron of the Milwaukee Bucks. He's going to decide who he wants. Obviously, he didn't like Adrian Griffin. There's a reason they fired a head coach who went 30-13. 30-13 as a head coach. You were the 1 seed in the East. Doc Rivers was the head coach of the All-Star game that season when he coached like 3 games. That's what I'm saying, that it's Giannis' decision. Once Giannis makes the decision they're going to fire Doc, I honestly think, and I agree, that they're not going to fire him until after the season if they do. I think if anything, they're already paying. They're already paying Mike Budenholzer and Adrian Griffin still.
Well,
and along with that, Doc Rivers. So
we are still paying Bud. I mean, the thing that from a financial standpoint can make more sense. It's just, why watch the rest of the season? I mean, if it's just a tank, we gotta accept it.
I think that they can trade for somebody. I still think it's gonna go. It's gonna go 2 ways. It's either they're gonna trade for John Moran or Zach LaVine or some big name player.
I don't see Zach LaVine. He's too injury prone.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. He's only got 2 years left in his contract, including a $48 million player option. So that's what kind of the Bucks are at right now, where it's like you trade a guy to get a guy and, hope for the best, or it's, completely dump it off. But, I mean, you're seeing the reports daily where Giannis is disgruntled and, his performance isn't up to where it should be. And I agree. I think he's played down and he's looked really, just not as his normal self.
But that's what I'm saying. That's beyond the roster. It's the locker room. And if Doc Rivers has lost the locker room, then what are we doing? Like, it's
rough.
It's really hard to watch right now. It feels gross every game because it's like we're watching a competitive basketball team who don't have 2 of their starters, and our team is just, hey, let's go play in the park, and we're not taking it seriously. La 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 la. Anyway, that's my thoughts.
We're 18-26. I'm still optimistic. I still think that, we do the right things. I trust Horst. And, by the end of the season, I still think we possibly still make the play.
Yeah.
So it's not completely over. It's not like, we won 5 games this whole season. Just
MLB
relax.
update.
It'll be okay.
The Milwaukee. This one's gonna be quick. The Milwaukee Brewers.
You said that
Sorry.
the last time.
Huh?
You said that the last time.
What?
This one's going to be quick.
Well, this segment's gonna be quick. The Milwaukee Brewers have traded pitchers Freddie Peralta and Tobias Myers to the New York Mets in exchange for their 3rd and 5th best prospects.
Brandon Sprout and Jet Williams.
The GOATs.
Real quick, I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
it. Jet Williams, lots of upside.
That's
he's
the
kind of
outfielder.
a
Is he an
smaller
infielder or
guy.
outfielder?
He can play both.
Oh.
He can play infield and outfield.
All right.
Preferably, I would like to see him, at second base. But the thing is, I think he's gonna play outfield. I think we have too many outfielders right now. Where, especially Yelich, he's getting older, so he could possibly, make that jump once Yelich starts declining a little bit. But overall, it had to happen. It
Yeah,
did.
I mean, a lot of people were torn up, but I'm like, guys, it was gonna happen. At least he didn't go to the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
But the Mets are doing very good off-season wise.
Yep. Well, let's see if they can come up where it matters most. 'Cause
And
they
then-
haven't for a while.
Yeah. Brandon Sprout, he played a little bit last year. He's still a top 100 prospect. He's number 100 right now. So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Just on the verge.
yeah.
Top 100
I mean,
prospect. He is number 100.
to be fair, though, there's a lot of prospects in the league.
Yeah,
So, I think that, overall, Tobias wasn't going to have a position next year to play. You already saw it this year during the season. And, this is now the second trade the Brewers have made. So, yeah, I think it's going to work in their favor like it usually does.
And then finally, to end it off on a good note, Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers won the college football championship. Wow, that was fun. That was fun to watch, the college football playoff. In the Final Four, it was the first year in forever since the start of time and since when meteors killed the dinosaurs, where Ohio State, Alabama, nor Georgia, none of them were in the Final Four of the playoff. I mean, we got Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin. The Lane Kiffin drama happened.
Trinidad.
Frickin' Miami went to the frickin' Indiana went. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza won the Heisman. Kurt Cignetti has now cemented himself as the best head coach in college football right now. Yeah, it was a fun championship. That dive was awesome, and congrats, Fernando. You are now a Las Vegas Raider.
Yep. Good luck.
Final thoughts?
Don't forget the last part there. UW River Falls.
Oh my! Did you just type that in?
I did type that in.
Yeah, and congrats to UW River Falls for winning the D3 football national
Caleb
championship.
Blaha.
Caleb Blaha
Our guy, the
is
starting
my
quarterback.
goat.
Caleb Blaha now has set.
If an NFL team doesn't pick him up, I don't know what they're. I'm sorry. I know he's a D3 quarterback, but he has to get at least some looks, right? He
get a
broke Joe
workout.
Burrow's all-time record for yards in the season.
Correct.
At the
He is
D3
now
level.
the quarterback
D3
with the
level.
most all-time yards, not just in Division III, in all divisions across
Taylor
football.
Gersma won the Heisman in Canada. And where is he
What?
now? I was just saying, Taylor Gersma, former Packers quarterback, won basically the Heisman of Canadian football.
Yeah, and look how did he good on
Who?
Look how well he did on the Packers. Congrats, River Falls. That is all from this week of SportsPoint. We're glad to be back. In a couple weeks here, some of us from the studio are heading to LA for a networking trip, so we'll have a surprise little episode in there while we're gone. Next week is our in-depth episode, and then after the Super Bowl happens, we'll be talking about that. We'll talk about Super Bowl predictions next week. That's all from this episode. Thank you again to Cole and to Brett coming on. Thank you, Liam, in the fishbowl. And thank you to me. From all of us here at SportsPoint, we'll see you next time.